Hello, I'm Adriana. I'm a Master SoulPath Teacher and Guide. And today I thought we'd do an intuitive reading to help you gain some more clarity and perhaps a different perspective on what's going on your journey. I want to actually start with an oracle card to give us the theme of what's going on, and then we'll get into the tarot cards. All right. Laughter. I love this card. This card is really talking about lightening up, finding the joy in what we're doing, and not taking things seriously. I think it's something like kids laugh something like 50 times, or maybe it's 100 times a day, and adults maybe laugh once or twice. But, laughing is actually therapeutic and healing. I don't know if you've ever had like a really big belly laugh with someone, but it's just instant bonding. Doesn't matter what you're saying or who you are, there's just that instant connection. So the fact that we've gotten the laughter card says to me that there's been a little bit too much heaviness, a little bit too much seriousness. Let's try to find something to laugh about. Let's just try to find a little bit of levity in what's going on. I'm going to say also this is Gemini season. We've got two fairies on the back of those Pegasi? What's the plural for Pegasus? And Gemini is all about the twins, and Gemini is a light, witty, humorous sign, can be. There's a lot of different facets to Gemini, but this is like a message of the times, perhaps. Okay, let's get going with our tarot reading here. And with all of my readings on YouTube, or if we're one-on-one and in a more formal situation, I do ask that you really use your own discretion, use your own empowerment, and take responsibility for what you're hearing and how you implement it. Your readings are really only as good as the energy right now. So if you hear this reading and you decide to change where you are, you decide to make a change internally, that shifts the trajectory of where you're headed. So keep that in mind as well. Readings can only tell the future from where you are right now, but if you change the present, you're also going to change the future, because the present is what gives birth to the future. Okay, interesting, crossed with the Knight. Okay, 10 to Queen, 7, double 7. Okay. Emperor's been coming up a lot lately, and I know we've been talking about the masculine energy coming back into balance. We've got some interesting stuff going on here. Now, our situation, or where you are right now, is the world. And there's a sense of completion, a sense of wholeness, and a feeling that you've accomplished something big. Maybe this is the end of a stage, the end of a chapter. This is also the time of year when school's getting out and we have graduations and graduation parties, and that's the kind of thing we think about with the world, the culmination of something that took a long time, but we're finally done. But the thing is that I feel with you a restlessness, the Knight of Cups. What's next? Or what else is there for me? Knight of Cups is a restless heart right now. You're not settled in the fullness of where you are. There's just this, what's next? Or where are we headed? Knight of Cups is seeking more from the heart. So even though you've accomplished something, your heart still wants more. And is that good or bad? It's kind of neither good nor bad. But interestingly, the past we have the Ten of Wands. And this is a very strong, very heavy kind of energy, where you've been through a lot of tests and ordeals that have tested tested your strength. And I feel like the Ten of Wands is also about, these were tests to reveal hidden powers, your hidden power. And I also feel like a lot of your beliefs were challenged during this time. And it was almost like you discovered that holding on to these beliefs was actually harder than letting them go. But the release of them was not easy. The release of those beliefs were not easy. And it's interesting, the bear being on the back of him, but the bear is kind of transparent, almost like it's a spirit animal. And bears are all about awakening. Bears are about the, like, because of the hibernation, the correct, I'm going to say like conservation, the correct use of your resources, but it's really about awakening. And so I feel like we're looking fairly far into the past, because if we are talking about awakening, this is a time of shedding beliefs so that the new power, or the true power, can emerge. A lot of the power you see in relations with others, there's a diplomacy that is present now that was not present in the past. Perhaps because of your inner strength growing and your just kind of knowing who you are, there's less of a need to prove yourself or to prove a point. So there, I see there's more of a flowingness in your interactions. But why is that causing the Knight of Cups to become restless and still seek for something beyond? It's like there's been this earthly gain, but the spiritual side, or the side of the heart, is still a little restless. And we have a really interesting dichotomy between the conscious and unconscious mind. We've got 2 7 cards. So the conscious mind is on top with that 7 of Swords with that beautiful elk, and then the subconscious is the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups and the Knight of Cups are speaking together because they're both talking about soul searching, looking for what is really the deep meaning here, what is actually going on. And the 7 of Swords says to me that you are doing some inner work because you're trying to sort out, you're consciously trying to sort out what's going on in the subconscious. So this is a little nebulous to me right now. Can you give me more specific information here, please? It's almost like your spirit is trying to figure out where it stands. It's trying to figure out how it truly feels about your situation, about what, is it about what you have accomplished, or is it about, what is it about? So it's actually that you're trying to, your spirit is trying to sort out how it feels about your current situation, the Emperor. Perhaps you're feeling constrained or confined by the pressure that someone else is putting on you, the expectations. Perhaps you feel like your life is too stable. But really, because who's holding the authority here? Is the authority being held by the individual or by the other person? I feel like it's being shared, like the two of you are sharing authority. But why is there the discomfort? You know, it's funny because on these 2 cards, there's the dark, the black in the background behind the animals. There's stars in this one and there's no stars in that one. And it's almost like you can't see your way forward. We use the stars to illuminate the ancient sailors, sailors still probably, anyway, stop wittering. The stars are navigational tools, not only in terms of our geography, but in terms of our inner landscape as well. That's why I feel astrology is so important to the soul journey. It's really important for you to understand your own astrology when you're navigating through your life's growth, because it's important for you to see where you started from, what you're working with, what that raw material is, what were those planetary influences on your energy field, and then to see how they evolve through time and how they can grow and expand and help your soul accomplish its lessons. So that's why I feel astrology is so important. That's why I blend astrology with everything I do with my clients. But the point in this reading is that your soul almost feels, or it feels to you that your soul has lost its way and that it doesn't know where it's going. And the thing is I feel that your soul knows exactly where it's going. The advice from the higher self is the star. What you're not realizing right now is that you're still in a time of healing. So you're seeking different, or you're seeking more, you're seeking beyond where you are, but your soul is still putting things together. It's still, what's the word? It's still integrating and consolidating everything it's learned. And so, of course, to you, it feels like it's lost its way because it's literally at a standstill. When we're sick, our body just wants us to sleep because it's in sleep that we regenerate, that the cells heal, that the body rebalances itself. It's almost like the conscious mind has to turn off for the healing to take place. Because conscious mind is all about input and analyzation. So analysis. It's the conscious mind takes in new information all the time, trying to make sense of it, and then it processes it. But all of that takes energy. So, it's funny, when I used to have to practice a lot at the piano, I was always starving because it's a lot of brain work. And so I feel like right now your brain, your mind, or everything, this 10 of Wands, the overwhelm, is saying just stop. Stop with the inputs. Let's just deal with what's in front of us and let all of this kind of settle so that we can find the new way forward. And Queen of Pentacles in the future, she is such a strong healing card, talking about the physical healing. We've got waterfalls on both of these cards on the side. I don't know if you can see that. Look on the edges of the cards. And so waterfall to me is cleansing and purifying and healing. And Queen of Pentacles is nurturing the body so that it can nurture the soul. And so this is really about taking care of yourself, eating right, eating what resonates with you. It may mean changing your diet. It may mean lightening up what you're eating. It may mean eating more dense or heavy to kind of help ground you. So just, again, this is my opinion, but it's based on my experience and also what I've researched. Sometimes grounding foods are like grains or sweet potato, squash, anything that's kind of heavy with that fiber that helps to tie your body to the earth. But that may not be right for you right now. That's going to be right for some and not right for others. So Queen of Pentacles is saying, find your way. But the star is saying, don't worry. We're putting this together. We can't move on if you've got one part of you fractured still. We can't keep moving or pushing you into the future. This isn't a fiery reading, even though we've got the 10 of Wands. That's more diffuse energy. This isn't a fiery reading. This is about staying where you are and letting the healing take place. And I'll say that again, letting it take place, getting out of the way so the healing can take place. And I think that perhaps will help you not push so much, because hopes and fears, Prince of Swords. And I need to sit with this card for a second to see where we're really going. Prince of Swords often talks in this deck about healing the inner child, healing the words spoken to the inner child. And our highest potential is the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is going to be the healing. So what I feel like is these cards together is we're talking about the healing of the inner child wound. Now that is a huge concept. It takes years to heal the inner child wound. Now, in my experience with myself, and I've been on a very special kind of fast track as far as spiritual growth, goes. I've had an enormous amount of help in a very short period of time, which creates an accelerated growth. It's taken a long time to heal that inner child, even in that accelerated situation. But what we're really focusing on here with all the swords are the words spoken to the inner child. Remember this laughter, letting that child, that inner child, laugh again. What causes a child to stop laughing is sadness or seriousness. And what takes the child out of that state of joy, because children have that pure connection to the other side. The younger they are, the more connected they are. And they remember that feeling of unconditional love and unconditional eternal oneness. And when that's the case, you can't help but laugh. All right. When you realize that what life is, all these situations, all the heaviness we go through are constructions that our soul has devised so that we can learn, they're really not real. Yes, they're real in terms of they're tangible, but they're not real in terms of eternal. Eternal is the soul, eternal is love, those bonds that last forever. And there is that lightness of the inner child, but it's been lost along the way. And it's bringing that lightness back, bringing that ability to laugh at a moment's notice back, bringing that ability to find the humor in everything. And again, I was talking about how laughter bonds two people together. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about love. Love is such a big term, but love is a bond. And there's, even if you never see the person again, if you share a belly laugh with someone, you are bonded to them. And so I feel like this is the rebonding to your true essence, the rebonding to that part of yourself, that rebonding to the light part that can laugh again. And, you know, if you're on this journey of doing the shadow work and going deep and really trying to work on yourself, there is a lot of darkness. And you have to face that darkness in order to make progress. But if you stay in the dark, then you actually, up to a point, don't make any progress. The integration comes when you can laugh at it. The healing comes when you can laugh at it, when you can laugh at yourself for being so serious or holding on to these things that don't make sense. When it's funny to you, then you'll know that you've healed. If it's still causing you pain, if you're still triggered, then you're still in the healing process, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just means extra love, extra gentleness. But when you can laugh is when you know you're truly healed. Okay? Because really, the things that we put ourselves through in order to gain love, the love that we had all along, it really is kind of funny. All right? It really is kind of absurd at the contortions we put ourselves through to prove that we're worthy of love, when all along there's absolutely nothing we need to do to prove we're worthy of love. But we're reconnecting with that sense, and that's what the theme of this reading really is reconnecting with that inner child, reconnecting with joy, reconnecting with laughter. And so I hope this helps inspire you to look at your day a little bit differently, because it's like, I don't know if you've ever been stuck in one of those things, especially with someone else, where you can't stop laughing. You know, it's like a little giggle and you can't stop cracking each other up, and then you try to stop. And then one of you smiles, and then the other one starts giggling, and then the giggles go back and forth, and then you're laughing, and you can't stop. There's a funny video of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal doing a commercial. I think it's an old video. And first of all, Raphael's grasp of English, especially at that time, was a little bit funny in itself, but they can't stop cracking each other up. And I don't know how long it took them to film this silly 30-second commercial, but it's one of those kind of circle things where they're feeding off of each other. When you start looking at something little to laugh at, it's going to balloon into something else and build into more, and you're going to feel that lightness expand. So it starts with the small things. It starts with that little wiggle, that little giggle. So, you know, wishing you a lot more lightness in your day. I commend you on all the work you've been doing, but it's time for something a little different now. So thank you so much for joining me. From my heart, I truly do love doing these readings, and if I can be of service to you through providing clarity through an intuitive tarot reading, or if you'd like to see what's going on in your chart, what's really holding you back and helping you at this time in your growth, I also do astrology readings. If you'd like something even more, you've been watching these videos and you're like, you know what, I kind of resonate with what she's teaching, I can very much help you on your growth if you're looking for that kind of a mentor. So all of that information is on my website, soulguidancewithAdriana.com. If it's down today, it's because I'm updating it. So you can always reach out through email. That's in the description below too. And I will look forward to seeing you soon.